For most travelers, Bridgeport is just a gas stop on the way to Tahoe or Mammoth. Big mistake. We're hitting the brakes to find ghost towns frozen in time, ancient volcanic hot springs, and a secret alpine canyon that isn't in the guidebooks. To get here, we headed north on the iconic Highway 395. We went past Bishop, past Mammoth, and eventually landed in the quaint little town of Bridgeport, California. The Eastern Sierra is a land of giants. You have the climbing mecca of Bishop and the ski slopes of Mammoth to the south, and the alpine expanse of Lake Tahoe way up north. Connecting them is Highway 395, a road that, for most travelers, is just a beautiful hallway used to get from one icon to the next. But right now, we're climbing. This is Conway Summit. At over 8,100 feet, it stands as the highest point on the entire highway in California. It serves as the dramatic dividing line where the high desert basin finally surrenders to the alpine peaks. Ahead lies Bridgeport, sitting quietly in the middle of it all. And while it's often just a pit stop, we think this gap on the map deserves a closer look. But before we can explore, we need a base camp. We're turning off the highway just south of town onto Green Creek Road. We're on the hunt for a dispersed boondocking spot, a quiet corner of public land to call home for the next few days. Local intel suggests there are plenty of solid options down this road, so now it's just a matter of finding one. There's a clearing just ahead that looks like it might be perfect. Let's go get a closer look. The approach looks clean. Now, we just need to make sure we don't spot any of those dreaded no camping signs. And it's clear. This is gonna be perfect. We're parked in a classic high desert sagebrush. While the immediate surroundings aren't exactly lush, we have a solid view of the mountains, and the wide open skies mean solar and Starlink work perfectly. We've definitely scored. Now, all that's left to do is set up camp. Welcome to our home for the next few days. Pulling out from camp, we stopped at a sign we noticed earlier. It marks the old Poor Farm, a stark reminder that this desert wasn't just scenery, it was a place of struggle. Our destination is Bodie. This isn't a restored theme park. It's widely known as the most authentic ghost town in the West, preserved in a state of arrested decay. Most of the road leading in is surprisingly smooth, but eventually we get to the authentic part. The final 3 miles are unpaved, a washboard track that forces us to slow down and really earn the arrival. And yes, your big rig can make it, just take it slow. Before long, we reach the entrance station. It's $8 per adult to enter. As we crest the hill, we get our first real glimpse of the town site, and honestly, it's massive. Welcome to Bodie. It stands as the best preserved ghost town in the entire country. You won't find fresh paint here. The park manages this place in a state of arrested decay. That means they don't fix things up to look new, but they don't let them fall down either. The real fascination is just peering through the dusty glass. You catch glimpses of a life left behind, some rooms frozen in time, others losing their battle with the elements. And check out these power lines. It sounds crazy, but in 1892, this remote outpost was high-tech. Bodie was one of the very first places in the world to use long-distance electricity, specifically to power the massive industrial heart of the town. To see where that power went, we're making our way up the hill. Most of Bodie is open to roam, but to get inside the standard stamp mill, you have to book a guided tour. We were fortunate enough to book a tour, and our guide turned out to be an absolute wealth of knowledge in the history here. We won't try to recap the full hour-long tour here, but stepping inside is an experience in itself. This wasn't just a mine, it was a factory. The sheer scale of these crushers gives you a real sense of the noise, the danger, and the engineering required to turn rock into gold. The tour is a fascinating, highly recommended add-on. You learn so much about the history and the actual processes they used. And while that might sound a bit dry on paper, trust us, it was surprisingly entertaining. So, Bodie is officially checked off our list, but around here, there's still plenty left to explore. If you're looking for high alpine scenery without the massive hike, Virginia Lakes is the answer. The paved road takes you straight up to 9,800 feet, revealing a chain of accessible glacier-carved lakes. It has been a legendary trout fishing destination for decades, anchored by a historic resort that's been operating here since the 1920s. And if you're looking for a place to camp up here, you have Trumbull Campground right next door. We didn't stay here, but did drive through, and it looks quite nice. The road ends at the historic Virginia Lakes Resort, where we were greeted by a local. At first glance, that orange collar makes you think pet, but this mule deer is actually wild. She's being tracked by the Fish and Wildlife to study the massive deer migration that happens in these mountains every year. Virginia Lakes was a beautiful appetizer, but now, it's time for the main course. We're heading into the Twin Lakes Basin. We're stopping at the general store for some local intel, and of course, that specific lure that's guaranteed to work today. Now, there are no sure things in fishing, but this guy clearly knows his stuff, so I feel pretty good about our odds. Plus, this place is a lifeline. They serve lunch and stock plenty of supplies and groceries. A massive help if you're camping in the basin and want to avoid a drive back to town. Now, to find a spot. It looks like we can park here and hike down to the water. The trail is steep and definitely overgrown, but it looks like it opens up ahead. Yes, we have a nice private clearing right on the lake. This is going to be great. Time to put that guaranteed lure to the test. Honestly, with a backdrop like this, the waiting is hardly a chore. And while I focus on the water, Dang has her own plans. She's capturing some of this epic sawtooth scenery. And maybe we'll get lucky and she'll catch some rare footage of me actually landing a fish. Well, what do you know? That guaranteed lure works. Now, we usually fish for dinner. Fresh trout is hard to beat, but today we're strictly catch and release. It's easy to see why this is the most popular spot in Bridgeport. At the far end of the lake sits Annette's Mono Village. It's a huge resort, full hookups, cabins, and a marina right at the base of the Sawtooths. If you need amenities, this is the place. It's undeniably spectacular. But we have a feeling the quiet road back at our camp holds a secret that might just rival this view, and we intend to find out. We're rolling past camp and heading deeper up the road, and honestly, the landscape here is a bit blah. We've heard rumors that this canyon holds some of the best scenery in the Sierra, but staring at this dusty sagebrush, it's hard to believe that from down here. But hey, the road is pointing in the right direction, straight up into those mountains. We pass a small reservoir called Dynamo Pond. This is actually where the power for Bodie was generated. Cool history, but the view still isn't winning us over. Now we enter a designated state wildlife area. Technically, camping is prohibited in this specific stretch, though, as we're about to see, that rule is definitely being ignored. We're suddenly driving through a thick tunnel of aspen trees. The contrast is night and day compared to the desert scrub from just a mile back. We pass a campsite here, though I'm pretty sure this isn't officially allowed. We're in a designated state wildlife area, and these zones protect deer migration and fawning habitat, which means camping is a no-go. We cross the creek, and suddenly, the canyon opens up. This is the Green Creek Basin. Just look at these marshy meadows, lush, green, and completely untouched. And framing it all are the massive granite peaks of the Hoover Wilderness. Twin Lakes is beautiful, but to us, this is the Eastern Sierra. As the sun dips below the ridge, the water catches that last bit of fire. It's quiet, it's golden, and best of all, it's completely ours. From the air, this landscape feels wildly out of place for California. The winding channels, the deep green marsh. Honestly, it takes us right back to the meadows we explored in Alaska last summer. But down on the ground, it's distinctly Sierra. On our way out, we spotted this mule deer just watching us from the safety of the marsh. No orange collar on this one, just a quiet local enjoying the sunset. We watched her until the shadows got too long, then made our way back down the canyon. By the time we rolled back into Basecamp, the light is almost gone. It was the perfect end to the absolute highlight of the trip. This morning, we're headed out to explore one of Bridgeport's most iconic destinations. We're making the short drive over to Travertine Hot Springs. From camp, it's barely a 5-minute drive north. We don't even have to go into town. The turnoff is right here at the county animal shelter. Pro tip, if you hit the gas station, you've gone too far. The road turns to dirt immediately. It's a mile of washboard, so take it slow, but you definitely don't need a 4x4. The parking lot feeds right into this trailhead kiosk. The paths here basically form a loop around the ridge. We're heading counterclockwise, which seems to be the way most people flow through here. There's a reason for the steam. We're standing right on top of ancient volcanic activity. The source water here comes out at over 160 degrees, so definitely test the temp before you jump in. And that superheated water is exactly what built this place. It dissolves the minerals deep underground and carries them to the surface. As it flows out and cools, it leaves those minerals behind, building up these travertine ridges layer by layer. It's a natural plumbing system that's been running for thousands of years. You can see it perfectly here. This ridge is basically a natural aqueduct. The water runs right down that center fissure, slowly building up the walls over centuries until it finally spills out onto the pools below. The bottoms are soft mud, which feels surprisingly great on your feet. And since the water flows from one pool to the next, you can usually find a temperature that's just right. As we continue down the trail, the full scale of the place opens up. You have this lush green valley, dotted with steaming pools, all framed by the massive Sawtooth Ridge in the distance. Combine that view with the sound of these peaceful streams, and you have one of the most unforgettable hot springs experiences you will find anywhere. It's not just a soak, it's a front row seat to the Eastern Sierra. Heading back to the truck, we're already seeing the crowds roll in. Remember, this is just a Monday morning. You can imagine the weekends, so definitely plan accordingly. After the heat and the hike, we're definitely ready for a recharge. So we're heading into town for a coffee pick-me-up, which is the perfect excuse to finally take a closer look at Bridgeport itself. First stop, the High Sierra Bakery. We've heard the pastries here are legendary, so expectations are high. But unfortunately, they're closed. We struck out on coffee, but found this instead. Burgers, burritos, ice cream, and massages? Talk about a one-stop shop. Walking Main Street, you get the full tour in about 2 blocks. You've got the colorful Rhino's Bar and Grill and the general store, which, true to its name, seems to stock a little bit of everything. But the anchor of the whole town is undoubtedly the Mono County Courthouse. Built in 1880, it's the second oldest continuous courthouse in the state. With that Victorian Italianate design, it looks less like a government building and more like a castle guarding the valley. But the most unique feature in town might just be the crosswalk. To get across Highway 395, you grab an orange flag, wave it to stop traffic, and deposit it on the other side. Now, we've traveled all over, but this low-tech safety system, that's a first for us. Safely across the street, we're making one last attempt. We heard about a spot called the Hideout down here that supposedly serves great coffee. On the way, we passed the absolute anchor of Main Street, the Bridgeport Inn. This hotel has been operating continuously since 1877. It's been here even longer than the courthouse. Just past the inn, we spot the Target. We see espresso. It says open. Turns out Mondays are not a great time to find coffee in this town. So we're heading back to Basecamp to make our own. And wait, because there's one last stop we need to make, but it only really comes alive when the sun goes down. Fast forward to late afternoon. We've dropped back down to the Conway Summit Overlook to catch the show. Below us lies the Mono Basin. It's massive, an ancient inland sea stretching across the horizon. But to really understand it, you have to get down to the water's edge. So that's what we're going to do. We bypass the main lot and head down a Forest Service road towards the Lee Vining Creek boat launch. This spot is tucked away right where the fresh creek water hits Salty Lake. It's quieter here, giving us the perfect place to kill some time before the main event. It might seem strange to find a seagull this far from the ocean, but Mono Lake is actually their nursery. Most of the California gulls you see on the coast were actually hatched right here. They flock inland by the thousands to nest on the volcanic islands, safe from predators. Seeing this basin as the seagulls do, you realize this is just a remnant of something much bigger. This was once part of a massive prehistoric inland sea named Lake Russell. At its peak of over 300 square miles, it was significantly larger than current Lake Tahoe, filling this entire valley with water 900 feet deep. Today, it remains a terminal lake. Water flows in from the snowy peaks, but with no outlet to the ocean, it has nowhere to go but up, into the atmosphere. That massive evaporation leaves behind a chemical soup that is 3 times saltier than the Pacific Ocean. To see what that chemistry actually builds, we head to the official State Natural Reserve area. It's a $5 fee to park, but it gets you a front row access to the strangest shoreline in California. These towers, called tufa, are the main event. And they aren't rocks falling into the lake, they're limestone spires growing out of it. They were formed entirely underwater, where freshwater springs bubbled up into the salty lake, and are only visible today because the water level has dropped. As the sun sets on this alien landscape, the verdict is in. We came to Bridgeport looking for a quick stopover, but we found a world-class base camp. From the high alpine peaks to the dusty ghost towns, secret canyons to this strange shore. This gap on the map might just be the best kept secret in the Sierra. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the road.